Lesson 12.2 is finding common reference angles. So in lesson 1, we found reference angles. Now we're going to find them in all 4 quadrants. Directions say find an angle in each quadrant with each common reference angle given. Our angle is 18 degrees. So my first job would be to figure out what quadrant is that in. That would be in quadrant 1, because remember we have 0 to 90, 90 to 180, 180 to 270, 270 to 360. So 18 degrees would be something like this angle right here. So whatever angle that is, that goes in its quadrant. Now what I want to do is think about how can I make an angle that is that same amount of opening from the x-axis in all 4 quadrants. So quadrant 2 might look something like that. Do those angles look the same? Quadrant 3 might look something like that. Quadrant 4, something like that. So what it does is it makes this X shape where everything should be symmetrical. And so I know this is 18 degrees and this is 18 degrees, 18 degrees, and I already knew this was 18 degrees. So to find what it is in quadrant 2, since this is 180, I would take 180 minus 18, which would be 162. That's what this angle from this starting point open to here would be. Quadrant 3, I want to be a 180 plus 18 degrees. So that would be 198. So again, from this initial ray here on the x-axis all the way to this terminal ray would be a total of 198 degrees, but it has a reference angle of 18. Quadrant 4, since I'm not quite to a 360, I do 360 minus 18, and that would get me 342, which has a reference angle of 18 degrees. But what if your angle that they give you is not in quadrant 1? Let's look at one of those. So 342 degrees. Which quadrant would that be in? That'd be between 270 and 360, so that would put us in quadrant 4, somewhere in here. Okay, so all the way around here is 342 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put that in quadrant 4, because that is that angle. But my job is to now find what's the reference angle that that ray makes with the x-axis. So I would want to do 360 minus 342. Oh my goodness. 342, which is 18. That's my reference angle. So my reference angle means this is, how did this get 18 degrees again? Oh my goodness. I did not mean to do that. Okay, but then that would be 18 degrees. I want it in each quadrant to make triangles that are all going to have 18 degrees away from the x-axis. So we're going to luck out and not have to do the math. In quadrant 1, this angle is simply 18 degrees. Quadrant 2, this would be 180 minus 18, which we already did in problem 1. It's 162. In this problem, it's 180 plus 18, which is 198. So you lucked out, but your first job is to figure out what quadrant the angle's in, put that number in its right box, figure out what the reference angle is, and then have that reference angle in each quadrant using either 180 to add, subtract from, and then the 360, never the 90 or 270.